Hello, students. My name is Jean Wilwa. I'm the Senior Director in the Residential and Commuter Life Office, and I wanted to thank you for viewing this tutorial regarding the main campus residence hall housing registration process for next year. If you have any questions after viewing this tutorial, feel free to email us at housing@longwood.edu, or you can give us a call at 434-395-2080, or visit our office located on the ground floor of Easton Hall. First, I just wanted to highlight some housing options for next year. We allow students to register for housing without filling a room to full occupancy. This means that the designated roommate that will register your group for an apartment or residence hall room can sign up without filling all of the available spaces. So, for example, if there are three of you that want to live in the same suite together, you could fill three spaces in that suite and leave the one remaining space for another student to register. Other option would be if you're just signing up by yourself and you don't have a roommate, but you want to be in a double room, you can just sign up for that double room and another student would then sign up for that other space. The other thing I wanted to highlight is that we will have additional single rooms available for students next year. Since we made the decision to open Cox Hall for next year, we will have additional housing space, which is allowing us to create more single rooms in the residence halls. So if you are a student that would be interested in living in a single room with no roommate, you will have the opportunity to choose a single room during registration. There is a cost difference between a single and a double room, so I would recommend viewing those housing rates prior to signing up for housing. We will have single rooms in each of the residence halls on campus to choose from. Next, I want to review the registration timeline. So, housing registration for the residence halls will take place from March 23rd to March 25th. I will go over the detailed timeline in a moment here so that way you know what day to register for housing. If you are a student that's planning to register for housing with a specific roommate or suite mate, you will need to create a roommate group and have members accept membership in that group through the Student Housing Gateway prior to your registration date. As I mentioned earlier, double rooms and single rooms will be available during the registration process. Your roommate group will include both roommates and suite mates. So, for example, if you have three other students that you want to live with next year in the same suite, you're going to create one roommate group and place everybody in that roommate group. And then one person from your group will register the entire group for a residence hall suite. Housing registration will be conducted each day from 10 to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway. As I mentioned earlier, each group will select a designated roommate who will then register the group for the assignment. The designated roommate must ensure that all members of the group have accepted the invitation to join the group in order to be pulled in as roommates during the registration process. I will show you in a few moments here how you use the roommate group form to create your roommate groups. The first day of selection is our first sophomore room selection day. This is for students who have completed 40 to 55 credits at the end of the spring semester. You will register on Monday, March 23rd from 10 to 4 p.m. So, for example, if I have 50 completed credits and my roommate has 12 completed credits, it's okay that my roommate only has 12 completed credits. As long as I'm the individual that is logging into the housing gateway on this date, I can sign myself up and my roommate at the same time as long as I've created my roommate group. The next day of registration is our second sophomore room selection day. This will be for students who have 39 or less completed credits. They would register on Tuesday, March 24th from 10 to 4 p.m. So this would be your day to register if one person in your group has 39 or less completed credits. So for example, I may be a student who has 30 completed credits, and perhaps the roommate I want to sign up with me has 60 completed credits. It's fine that my roommate has more than 39 credits. As long as I'm the person logging in to register this day, I can sign myself and my roommate up for the residence hall room or suite. The third day of registration is for students with 56 or more completed credits. Those students will register on March 25th from 10 to 4 in the Student Housing Gateway. The designated roommate must have earned at least 56 credits at the end of the spring semester to register this day. Just want to provide some helpful tips and reminders. As I mentioned earlier, we will have both double and single rooms available during the registration process. I will show you in a few moments here how you would search for a double or a single room when you are completing the registration process. The housing rates for next year are published on the RCL website. Students should discuss these rates with their family or financial provider prior to housing registration so you can make sure that what you are signing up for is going to fit with your financial plan. Students can access the Housing Gateway through the direct link there. You can also access that link on the housing website. It's also available on the Lancer dashboard on the Maine University website. And also, every email that I send reminding students about housing registration will have the link to the Housing Gateway. We always encourage students to talk with their roommates about where they want to live for next year. So that way, if for some reason the building you want to live in is full at the time you register, you know what your second choice building would be. So your designated roommate knows exactly what you want to do. In order to help students plan for housing registration, we will post an announcement on the main page of our website letting students know how many rooms remain available for each registration day. So for example, after we finish the first sophomore registration day, we will post on the website how many single rooms remain available in Johns Hall, how many double rooms are in Johns Hall, as an example. So we'll do it for each of the different residence halls so you have a good idea then what's the likelihood that you would get into your first choice building that next day when you go to register. The other thing that's really important is if you're signing up with a roommate or suite mate, that you make sure that everyone has accepted membership in your group prior to your registration date. And I will show you how to do that in a moment here. So now what I'm going to do is show you what registration is going to look like in the Housing Gateway. First, I'm going to show you the roommate group form, and then second, I will show you what registration will look like on the day you register for housing. So this screen should look very familiar to you. This is the login screen for the Student Housing Gateway. So you would just log in with your Lancer NetID and password. Once logged in, you will see your name highlighted in yellow, as well as something called an RMS ID number. The RMS ID number is a number that you will use to invite students to your roommate group. So for example, if I want to invite 2 students to my roommate group, I will contact them and ask them to give me their RMS ID number. And each student can find their RMS ID number on the welcome screen when they log into the Housing Gateway. Currently, the roommate group form is available in the Housing Gateway, so students can start forming their roommate groups now. The other button that's currently available in the Housing Gateway is the button that says View Completed Credits. So if you are unsure of how many completed credits you have, you can click on that button and the system will let you know. The other button that will become available once we start residence hall registration is the residence hall registration button. That is the button you will use on your day to register for housing. So the roommate group form is on the screen here. All of the instructions are on the form, but it's very simple. If you want to create a roommate group, you will go to the bottom of the screen and you will click on the green Create Group button. In this example, you will see that I have created a roommate group. I have already invited 2 other people to my roommate group, Betty Newman and Courtney. I am listed as the leader just because I'm the one who created the roommate group. The leader does not have any special powers. The system is just delineating that they're the people that created the group. Anybody who is a member of the group can sign the group up for housing. Betty Newman is listed as a member of the group. That means that she was invited to my group and she's already accepted membership in the group. Courtney is still in invited status, which means that she was invited to the group, but she has not accepted membership in the group yet. And next, you'll see that I'm clicking on the invite button to invite another member to my group. So once I click on the invite button, this box will appear, and I will put in the RMS ID number of the person I want to add to my group. Once I put their number in, I will click on the search button, and then their name will appear. Once I am sure that that is the person I want to add to my group, I will click on the green select button, and then their name will appear above in the list of students. The other thing that is really important is once you've finished adding people to your group, you need to click finish at the bottom of the screen in order for that information to be saved in the system. Once you do that and click finish, you will get a confirmation email that you've submitted the form. Emails will be sent to all group members, letting them know that they've been invited to the group. That email will provide instructions for them to go into the Housing Gateway, click on the roommate group form, and accept membership in the group. When they open the roommate group form, they will see their name listed in the group, and there will be 2 buttons next to their name. One will be to accept membership in the group, and one will be to decline membership in the group. So they will go in and click accept membership in the group, and then click finish at the bottom of the screen in order to save that in the system. Once they've accepted membership in the group, emails will be generated to all group members, letting them know that this individual has accepted membership. If prior to registration, you want to make sure that everyone is a member of the group, you can log into the Housing Gateway and click on the roommate group form. The roommate group form will then bring up the list of students that are in your group, and you'll be able to see their status. You would want to make sure that everyone's status is either leader or member. If anyone is still in invited status, you will want to reach out to them and ask them to accept membership in the group prior to your registration day. So as I mentioned before, once you submit the form, you will receive a confirmation email that it's been submitted, and emails will be sent to each student in the group. Next, I want to show you what registration will look like for the student who's going to register your group for housing. So you will see here that on this first page for registration, at the bottom, your roommate group members will be listed. If you look at that list and someone is missing, that means they have not accepted membership in the group. So what you'll want to do before you proceed with registration is reach out to that student and ask them to go in and accept membership in the group. If everybody is listed that you are expecting to be a part of your group underneath your roommate group members, then go ahead and click next step to go ahead and select your residence hall room or suite. So next you're on the screen where you're going to search for a room that you would like to register for next year. So you will see here on the screen that it will list all the different available rooms by building. And so you can click on that for the building that you would like to sign up for next year. Once you do that, you will see on this screen the list of available rooms. And so you will see all of the rooms in Moss that are currently available. And then you will also see to the right-hand side of the screen, there is a lock icon. So if you are a student who is only interested in double rooms with a roommate, you will also see that underneath that search box, there is an option to choose a room type description. So if you are looking for a double room with a roommate, you can search just Moss double rooms and those rooms will come up. If you are only looking for a single room, you don't want a roommate, you can use that room type description to only bring up single rooms for you, so that way you're assured you're signing up for a room with no roommate. Once you find the room that you want to sign up for, you can go ahead and click on that yellow lock icon to the far right, and that will lock that space so that you can complete the registration for yourself and any group members. So once you do that and you bring up your space that you've selected, in this example, Moss 513, that suite was selected. If you get to this page and you realize you picked the wrong room, you don't need to start all over again. You can click on the release lock button there, and that will take you back to the previous screen to select another space. But if you're sure that this is the space that you want to sign up for, you would use the drop downs to place individuals in the correct room. So in this example, this is suite 513. There is an A room and a B room in the suite. If me and the individual in my roommate group want to live in the same room as roommates, we would want to make sure that I put both of us in 513A or in 513B. If you split group members between A and B, then you won't be in the same room and you would receive other roommates. So the person you want to room with you want to make sure that you place them in the same room within the suite. Once you've done that, all you need to do is click finish at the bottom of the screen, and you will receive a confirmation message letting you know that you have signed up for housing for next year. You and any roommates or suite mates that you have signed up will also receive emails letting them know that they have been signed up for housing, and it will let them know the space that they've been assigned to. That email will also provide a link for each student to sign up for their own meal plan. So the designated roommate will sign up the whole group for housing, and then each individual will sign up for the meal plan themselves. This concludes the tutorial regarding the housing registration process for the residence halls. If you have additional questions, please email our office at housing@longwood.edu or call 434-395-2080, or feel free to stop by our office. We are located on the ground floor of Easton Hall. Thank you very much for attending this information session.